If it were to be a country, food waste would be the third largest source of greenhouse gas emissions after the USA and China. So sustainability was selling in 2020, 2021. Then the war in Ukraine broke out in early 2022, and that kicked off a whole bunch of crises that impacted the business world. Lots of supply chain crises, energy prices, interest rates going up, the cost of living crisis affecting their workforces. And what has happened is that since 2022, sustainability has dropped dramatically down the corporate agenda. And in particular now, given what's happening in America, we're now even seeing, beyond it just dropping down the corporate agenda, we're seeing a backlash against it on the global stage. How we have responded to that is by adjusting our messaging, because rather than leading with the environmental messaging, we now lead with the social messaging. We have redistributed over 100 million meals via the platform and over 14 million household items. And this has had enormous social impact on millions of people across the UK. So now we really lead with the social impact messaging, and we find that that resonates much better with businesses, because at the end of the day, businesses are made up of lots of human beings, and human beings are much more motivated by having an immediate impact on their local community than they are about having a more distant impact on something like the planet.
Yeah. And beyond the strategic and the messaging, how do you deal with it personally as a person, as a leader? Because you have given 10 years of your life, as you said, right? That's not small, that's not trivial. But to see the receptiveness of sustainability or what you're doing going down, or seeing very contrary voices, how do you deal with it personally, emotionally, to be able to lead, right? To be able to still sustain yourself, but also sustain a large and growing team.
So honestly, that is one of the hardest personal challenges that I've got right now, because I feel, if you imagine the lady or the man in the circus who's got one leg on either pony, part of me is spending day in, day out close to the climate science and to the climate community, and I can see that things are getting far worse, far more quickly than any of the models projected. And then on the other hand, I'm spending the rest of my days being told straight to our faces that sustainability is not important, that climate is not important. So that is extremely hard to deal with, especially I've got 2 young children, so it feels even more personal. And that is definitely something I've struggled with quite a lot. In terms of finding a solution to that, I am trying to carve out time to connect in real life with other climate founders. I almost visualize it as a little bit like kind of going back to the docking station, re-energizing yourself, knowing that actually you're not out there alone fighting on the front line, you're just fighting in your bit of the front line, and then go back out and keep fighting.